Okay, it's 3 o'clock on January 10th, 2023, and I'd like to call the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting to order. A notice of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the county boardroom. All commissioners are present, along with our board administrator, Dan Hoynes, county treasurer, Trace Jones, and myself, Sarpy County Clerk, Register of Deeds, Deb Hotelling. I will be acting as board chairman until a new one is elected. Please silence your cell phones, and let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda is 3.1, Resolution 2023-002, election of chairman of the Sarpy County Board of Equalization for calendar year 2023. Yes.
Can I make it a motion?
You can.
Okay.
I'd love it.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend Commissioner Angie Burmeister to be the chairman of the Sarpy County Board of Equalization.
Second.
Okay. Okay, Don, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's been moved by Kelly, seconded by Klug to elect Angie Burmeister as chairman for the calendar year 2023. Please vote. There we go. Okay, ayes 5, nays none, motion carries. Congratulations, it's all yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to serve as chair. Don has done an excellent job, and so I look forward to working with him and leaning on him a little for some advice, and really appreciate the opportunity. I'd like to announce the vice chairman for the Board of Equalization for calendar year 2023 will be Jim Warren.
Don't we vote for you?
Moving on to the consent equalization agenda, would anyone like to see anything removed from the consent agenda?
Motion to approve is published. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
Excuse me, ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned.
Okay, give me just a minute here. Okay, moving on. It's 3:03 p.m. on January 10th, 2023. I'd like to call the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. A notice of the Open Meeting Act is located on the north wall of the county boardroom. All commissioners are present, along with our board administrator, Dan Hoynes, and myself, Deb Hotelling, county clerk and register of deeds. I will be acting as board chairman until a new one is elected. First item on the agenda is 2.1, Resolution 2023-003, election of chairman of the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners for calendar 2023. Would someone please make a motion?
I'd like to, well, actually, it's my pleasure to recommend Commissioner Angie Burmeister as the board chairman for 2023.
Second.
Okay, please vote. Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to announce that the vice chairman for the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners for calendar year 2023 will be Commissioner Jim Warren.
Yay, Jim.
Item 2.2, 2023 Sarpy County Board Liaison Representatives. And I'll read through those different representatives. You do need me to read that all in, don't you, Deb?
Excuse me?
Do you need me to read that all in?
Yes, I do, for the record.
Perfect. So the full board participation will be Board of Equalization, Board of Corrections, Leasing Corporation, Noxious Weeds, Contract Negotiations, Legislation, Legislative Testimony, Speeches, Media Interviews, and Public Board Representation Opportunities. The board representatives for the Budget and Finance Committee will be Commissioners Klug, David Klug, and Commissioner Don Kelly. Eastern Nebraska Human Services Agencies and Region 6 Governing Board will be Commissioner Angie Burmeister. Metropolitan Area Planning Agency, MAPA Board, is Commissioner David Klug. Nebraska Association of County Officials, NACO Board, Commissioner Gary Mixon. GROW SARPI, Commissioner David Klug. Criminal Justice Coordinating Commission, or Committee, CJCC, Commissioner Jim Warren. Mental Health Services Committee, Commissioner Don Kelly and Commissioner Angie Burmeister. SARPI-CAS Department of Health and Wellness Board, Commissioner Jim Warren. Merit Commission, Commissioner Don Kelly. Heartland Workforce Solutions, HWS Board, Commissioner Gary Mixon. Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency Board, Commissioner Don Kelly. Warner Park Stadium Committee, Commissioners David Klug and Commissioner Gary Mixon. Legislation Coordination Committee, which is a new committee to the board, Commissioner Jim Warren and Commissioner Angie Burmeister. Audit Committee, Commissioner David Klug and Commissioner Don Kelly. And Healthcare Committee, also a new committee to the board, Commissioner Jim Warren and Commissioner Angie Burmeister. Moving on to item number 3, awards, proclamations, and presentations. Item 3.1 is a core values presentation presented by Dan Hoynes, Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My mic's working, it's unplugged. I'd just like to take a brief moment. We have a big crowd today. If you didn't know it, if you're not already aware, the Sarpy County Chamber Leadership Group is here. I had the pleasure to visit with them a little bit. This is their County Government Day, and so I'd like to have them stand and be recognized in the group, if you would, please. Large group, 30-some people. Thank you. I would also like to ask, Madam Chair, if the board could join me down here for this one. This is a very special presentation. See if you can just fill in on either side here so that we can recognize this special human today. About 2 years ago, we went through this process in county government of identifying our core values. And periodically, we like to recognize individuals who best epitomize those values, usually by nomination. Our core value recipient today is outgoing Chair, Commissioner Don Kelly. Thank you. And so we put a proclamation together. I didn't write it, or it probably would have been more appropriate for after hours, but our comm department and some others put it up. But I would like to read it into the record. Your proclamation, whereas Don Kelly, the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners, is ending his term as chairman after 7 years of leadership, voluntarily, I would add. And whereas Kelly was first elected to represent District 1 on the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners in 2013 and served as chairman from 2016 through 2022. Didn't do an official check, but I think that might be a record for continuous leadership on the county board. Whereas his vision and commitment to the community, I would have added some more adjectives there too, all good, have been pivotal in a once-in-generation projects, including the Sarpy sewer expansion that is expected to generate billions in economic development, and the construction of the new Sarpy County Correctional Center that addresses inmate overcrowding and mental health needs. And whereas Kelly has represented the board on several committees, including as chairman of the wastewater agency, and whereas Kelly is a longtime public servant whose work extends beyond his role as a Sarpy County elected official. Whereas he graduated from the University of Nebraska, they didn't put the year in here, Don, and served in the United States Air Force for 27 years, retiring at the rank of colonel. Whereas Kelly serves on the board of directors of the 55th Wing Association on the Papillion La Vista Community Schools Foundation and is an active member of the Offutt Advisory Council and the Omaha Chamber of Commerce Military Affairs Advisory Group. Therefore, the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners wishes to recognize Don Kelly for his leadership and extend their sincere gratitude for his years of service. Approved this 10th day of January 2023 and under the signature of Madam Clerk Deb Hotelling and newly appointed Board Chair Angie Burmeister. I'd also like to add on behalf of the staff, thank you. Yeah. Speak.
So I wasn't expecting this, but it's an honor to serve. You know, I was in the military for 27 years, and I thought I did some pretty great stuff. But being entrusted, to make decisions on behalf of all the citizens of Sarpy County, all 200,000 of them, it's very humbling. And it's also rewarding to be able to serve with such like-minded individuals because although the chairman's out front on a lot of issues, they're not really leading. The leaders are the folks standing next to them. Everything we do is a team. This is a team sport. And so I'm really looking forward to supporting our new leadership team. We've got two people in the right position at the right time to take Sarpy County to the next level. So I'll be doing all I can to support Commissioner Burmeister and Commissioner Warren because we've got a lot of important things to do in this county and we're going to get them done. So thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it.
One final thing, if you don't mind, sir, if you come around the front, have one final word. So I have in my hand here the esteemed, coveted Sarpy County Challenge Coin that we're going to bestow upon you.
Thank you.
If we give it, you must be carrying it at all times.
I will, I
and
promise.
especially if you get stopped by a Sarpy County Sheriff's deputy. I don't think you'll get any immunity out of it, but thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so
Good
much.
enough. All right. Can we get it? Picture.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right.
Item number 4, commissioners, administrators, announcements, and comments. We'll start with Commissioner Mixon.
Just a little shout out to the Bellevue West boys and girls. I believe the Metro Holiday Tournament, the boys won and the girls won, so that's quite a feat for one high school to win both boys and the girls in the same year. So a good shout out to them.
No, just a welcome to all the people with Leadership Sarpy. As I hope one of the things they've taught you about county government, and Don knows this saying well, is county government is probably the most dysfunctional form of government ever invented by a very dysfunctional unicameral. County government's run by a committee of 5 people, and appreciate your support, and I hope some of you in the future look forward to serving on this board.
Yeah, and I'll echo those comments. Thank you guys for taking time out of your busy days to participate in this program. I hope you get something out of it, and maybe someday it'll push you into public service.
Also would like to welcome Leadership Sarpy folks. I was lucky enough to be part of the class of 2017. It's not as big as this one, but it's wonderful to see all of you here and see the program continue to grow.
Mr. Hoynes?
Nothing additional, Madam Chair.
Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, would anybody like to see any items removed from the consent agenda? And if not, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Item number 6.1, Resolution 2023-011, subrecipient agreement between Sarpy County and the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, ARPA, and Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, SLFRF. Dan Hoynes, County Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This agreement is pretty straightforward. As you're well aware, the county authorized and appropriated $7 million of ARPA money from this board's ARPA money to the wastewater agency. Subsequently, the legal counsel for the agency and the county attorney's office, Nicole Spitzenberger, along with guidance from Bill Connolly's office, have been working to put together a formal agreement that details the terms, conditions, and requirements of how that money may be used. So I would respectfully request your approval.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve. Any comments or questions? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Item 6.2, Resolution 2023-013, Interlocal Cooperation Agreement with Sanitary and Improvement District, SID 364, Gretna Logistics Park, Hymus Group, LLC, and the City of Gretna for improvements to portions of Platteview Road in Sarpy County, Platteview Road, 204th Street, Highway 31, Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. As the chair read, this is an interlocal agreement, four-party interlocal agreement to improve Platteview Road from Highway 31 to 210th Street. I do have a map up here. Okay. You can see the highlighted portions that show the different parties to the agreement. The City of Gretna is responsible for the improvements in the green. The Hymus development project is there in kind of the red slash, and then the Gretna Logistics development. Platteview Road in this area is a two-lane corridor, asphalt degrading pavement with a bad profile that doesn't really accommodate development. And so as the county was approached by some of these developments in the area, we determined that it was needed to improve Platteview Road to 3 lanes, flatten it out, and prepare for this growth and additional growth. And as the county board knows, one of the primary ways that we fund our road projects is through private development contributions. And so this project is about an $8 million project. The developments on the north will each be responsible for 1 lane of improvement. And then as development occurs on the south side of this area, those developments will contribute back to the county a lane. And so for an $8 million project, the county's initial cost is about $5 million, and our net cost is $3 million. And that's just a way that we're able to partner with development, extend our road dollars further, and see the benefits occur. We did, for this project, we've been working with a couple different developments. I did ask Brian Diedrichsen, who's with New Street LLC. They are the development firm that's developing Gretna Logistics. I did ask him to come talk to you a little bit about their development. I think it's fitting that the Leadership Sarpy group's here. They can hear some of what's happening out in this area. So if Brian wants to come on up, I can get his PowerPoint up here. And Paula Dennison, the city administrator with the City of Gretna, is here. She's part of the leadership group. And Marty Pelster, who's the attorney for Gretna Logistics, is here as well. So I'll get Brian set up here. Hit forward. You hit forward to go.
Thanks for having me. Brian Diedrichsen, New Street Properties. We are part of the development team developing roughly 170 acres that you see under SID 364. I'll try to pull up a site plan. So here's our site plan. Roughly, we purchased 170 acres, closed on 1 parcel in December of 21, another parcel in March of 22. We are currently grading, 100% graded, putting in site infrastructure now, with then a plan to go vertical on a building here shortly. So roughly, this project can handle 2 million square feet of industrial development. We're expecting distribution centers, light manufacturing, some of those uses at the end of the day. So currently, we have in theory, 4 buildings planned. We plan to start construction on building 1, which is a 400,000 square foot industrial building, 36-foot clear height. And we are entered into our GMP with a local contractor. Should start in kind of when spring thaws, so we can get in, put footings, foundations in. Should start in May, should be finished late 2023, early 2024 with that building. We do have a site under contract to be sold up at the top right-hand corner, roughly 25 acres. That user is on a similar construction schedule as we are. They'd like to start in May, and then their first phase is about 100,000 square feet. Planned phase 2 to add another 150,000 square feet. Phase 1 should start in May, like I said, and then their construction timeline's a little bit longer than ours. They would be finished probably mid-2024 with their building. Pending leasing on our building 1, we're currently chasing or pursuing 3 different opportunities. One is a 400,000 square foot user, another is a 550,000 square foot user, and a third is a 300,000 square foot user. So if we would land one of those, put them in building 1, we would then actually either go to building 2 and build spec, or we would go to building 3. Sequence we don't really have kind of defined right now, but we would then start on a second building out there. This kind of gives you another overview of kind of how the buildings lay, how we line up against the interstate, and then we do have some kind of renderings of what would be built there. What you're seeing now is really building 1, facade, parking. All users have different parking requirements, either vehicular or trailer parking. So this isn't exactly maybe what it's going to look like, but it will be precast office on each corner. These are what are called cross-dock buildings. So you have docks on both sides versus where you just have docks on one side of the building, an office, or on the front side of the building. So that kind of gives you a sense of where all the buildings are, and then just gives you a few more renderings of what the project would look like. So that's all we kind of have.
Sure, Brian would be happy to take questions if you have them. I would also, he did mention the aggressive schedule that they have, and so we've been already working on design on this project. Chris Malmberg with HDR is the lead designer. Zach Hergenrader, who's also here as the senior engineer from Public Works, are working on this, and we're trying to be aggressive because there's not much of a road network out there, and so we want to get Platteview Road in there and ready to be used to match the schedule for these developments and projects to open.
Are the interior roads underway?
What's that?
The interior roads?
We will start paving as soon as the spring thaws. Yeah, so our contract.
So that'll go in conjunction with the construction as well?
Yes. Yeah, we'll put our ring road in, and then we'll start construction. We should be paved by June. Then our plan will be we'll be in there simultaneously with our subcontractors finishing infrastructure where we go.
What's the sewer setup out there?
The city of Gretna is extending sewer or facilitating sewer to serve these developments on the north side. And I know that our development team has been coordinating with Greg Perry, the city engineer from Gretna. On the south side of Platteview Road, that's an area that I believe the city is seeking an exception to the sewer agency to be able to sewer that area. That application, that process is still ongoing. But once that happens, I think you'll, if that's approved by the agency, I think you'll see other development happen there quickly. But all the stuff that we've highlighted that Platteview Road's going to serve will have sanitary sewer soon.
Yeah, we sewer phase 1. The building's on the west side. We'll sewer to the west. Lift station will be going in. We'll start construction here whenever they can. I know it's been, I think, awarded.
So the undisclosed builder, when will that be announced?
The contractor,
Yeah,
we can announce that. That's Darling Construction will be our,
okay,
our general contractor.
all right. And then, have you started the building permit process?
I believe we are submitting here shortly.
What's the dollar value?
Probably at the end of the day, building one will be in the $35 million range. Total investment by us, if we build all three buildings, will be in the $150 to $200 million range.
Okay, thank you.
Another question. Your parking lot, it's going to be concrete, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
concrete and asphalt,
good.
combination of the two.
Pardon?
Concrete and asphalt,
Okay.
combination of the two.
Asphalt overlay or just, or a combination in, because with all the trucks and stuff going in there.
Yep.
And the diagram or the,
Yeah, so ironically here versus like Kansas City where we do development, concrete's cheaper up here. So most of these parking lots will be concrete. Sometimes they have an underlay of crushed concrete, then we overlay with asphalt. But then where you drop the legs of the trailers, that apron is concrete all the time. But right now we're planning on 100% concrete for the driveways and all parking lots.
okay, thank you.
I'd simply say, Scott, with the aggressive schedule that this was on, really appreciate your efforts to make sure that the county wasn't slowing down the progress that's being made. So really appreciate the time and effort on
Yep,
this one.
appreciate that. It's a team effort. We huddle every 3 weeks just to make sure everything's on track. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion?
Simple comment, welcome to Western Sarpy County.
Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Item number 6.3, Resolution 2023-007, Indirect Cost Allocation Plan and Report prepared by Maximus Consulting Group, Inc. for use in fiscal year 2024. Bill Conley, CFO.
Good afternoon. Can you put this exhibit up, or do I need to do something? Thank you. Awesome.
Oh, good, okay, good to go.
This is something we do every year as part of the county fiscal operation, is that we have an outside firm help us do a cost allocation study. And Maximus has done this work for us. And first of all, I would say Allison and Lucas from Maximus do a great job. You'll hear from me in 2 weeks when I'm going to recommend that we renew the contract with them, because this is an outstanding team and they do good work. And so they've completed their study for the fiscal 2022 and produced rates. And just to give you a little background, I won't take much time, but the indirect cost rates represent the expenses of doing business that are not readily identified with a particular grant, contract, function, or activity, but are necessary for the operation of the organization. So, you know, an example of what overheads might include are utilities, facilities maintenance, accounting, HR, other administrative costs, and things like that. So what this firm does is they take all of our financial numbers for the year and they reallocate them all over the place. And they produce numbers that on the one hand are very important and helpful to us, but I would also say, you know, depending on what these numbers are, they may or may not move the needle in terms of dollar revenue that we get. So the first item here, the indirect cost rate, 58%, that's our overall county indirect cost rate. I've looked at the information. It's a little bit higher due to higher countywide indirect costs. This might mean, for example, when Lisa's applying for a grant for the county, that we might get reimbursement of wages for an employee plus this 58%. Some organizations will pay our rate, many of them don't, and they'll pay a certain rate. So I'm just kind of giving that as a background and example of how this might or might not be used in our operations. So I think the 58% is reasonable. I'll jump down to the jail daily rate. That came down quite a bit, more in line with what it has been in the prior years. And the denominator on that calculation is prisoner to inmate days, man days, or whatever you want to call it in the jail, and that was significantly higher over the past year. So that caused the rate to get kind of back to where it's been in previous years. Pretty similar on the JJC. We had a little bit higher number of youth, and the costs were a little bit lower. And then the care daily rate also had a little bit higher number of youth in that program. And so overall, our team has looked at the numbers. They seem reasonable. The explanations are reasonable. And I would open it up for any questions you have on any of the rates.
Bill, just how does the rate start dropping so low? Here's 3, 4, and 5 at the JJC.
The question is on the 2019, 2018 JJC rate.
No, oh, okay, I'm with you. I'm reading it backwards. All right. So do you speculate it's going to stay, or no way to know? Is it going to stay at that 1,300-ish number, or?
You know, I don't know that I want to speculate. I think it really is impacted by the number of youth we have in the program. And so if we have a year where the youth number goes up quite a bit, you'll see that number drop below 1,000 again. You know, it really just depends on the numbers. I don't know that our cost structure has changed dramatically over this 5 years.
Do you know what we get from out-of-state or out-of-county users? What our daily charge is?
I don't offhand, no. I can get that for you.
Thank you.
It's south of like $300.
What's that?
It's south of $300.
That's what I thought.
So these indirect cost rates incorporate all the fringe and overhead costs that go with any given employee,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. That's why they're going up.
That's one reason why they're going up.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions for Bill?
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Do we go ayes 5, nays none? Motion carries.
Item 7.1, collective bargaining. Catherine Gatewood, Deputy County Attorney, and Mark McQueen, Barrett Home.
Are you ready for them? For the protection of the public interest, I move that we go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining.
And for reference, the board is going to leave the room and go into the room behind us. So if people want to stay in the county boardroom, they may.
Second.
We got to vote. Hold on.
Second.
So, okay. Okay.
So it was
please vote.
moved by Commissioner Warren, seconded by
Hold on.
Commissioner Mixon. Please vote.
Don, did you vote? Okay, ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
Sorry, that was my fault.
That's all right, but we do one.
Do we need Dawn?
Yeah, Don's talking again.
Do we
Oh, here
lose
he
Don?
comes.
Okay.
It is now 4:08. At 3:33, we went into executive session where our discussion was restricted to collective bargaining, and I need a motion that we return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mixon, seconded by Commissioner Klug. Please vote.
Okay. Okay, ayes 4, absent Kelly.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned.